Local. Breaking news. This is News Channel 3 covering West Michigan live at 5.
Election results are in. We have a recap of all the big races and issues decided around West Michigan.
And WMU gears up for a monumental moment today. We're live with a preview of the big announcement.
Plus, GOP presidential candidates make their way to Michigan today for another debate. Today is Wednesday, November 9th. Good morning. I'm Marcy Koberger.
And I'm Josh Rowe. Good to see you here this morning. Election day yesterday. You can see all the results right there, bottom of your screen. They're right there, Marcy.
Yeah, they are.
Right there for you.
You can check them out all morning long.
All morning long, right here. We have a snapshot of Tuesday's election results as voters hit the polls to decide several issues. In Kalamazoo, voters decide on a 2-to-1 margin that marijuana possession is a low priority crime. That means it is now a low priority for police to arrest someone 21 or older with an ounce or less of pot. In Grand Rapids, voters narrowly give the thumbs up to a $4 million GRPS bond. It passed 53% to 47%. The warm, safe, and dry schools for kids millage will pay for school improvement projects. District officials say it will cost an average homeowner about $54 per year.
And in Matawan, a major upset as voters turned down a bond proposal that would have been used to build 2 elementary schools and upgrade technology district-wide. It failed, with 55% of voters saying no. And you can also see some of the results of some of the other issues, including the local city commission races, scrolling on the bottom of your screen there. We'll have more results in our next half hour. For a complete list of election results, you can go to our website. That's WWMT.com. Well, it hasn't happened in the state in over 25 years. Now a state lawmaker has been recalled from office. Representative Paul Scott of Grand Blanc was voted out last night by a narrow margin of just over 200 votes. Now, Scott is the chairman of the House Education Committee and was targeted by the state's largest teachers union for policies that cut education funding and weaken teacher tenure. A House Republican spokesman says a recount has not been ruled out at this point.
The anticipation is building as officials at WMU get ready to make a big announcement. Jessica Wheeler joins us live now from campus with a preview of what Western is calling a monumental moment. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning, Josh. We're told that today's big announcement will have a huge impact on one of the university's oldest programs. Now, that big announcement will be held here at WMU's College of Human Services building. We do know that it involves the Department of Occupational Therapy, which is the first and oldest non-teacher education program at the university. But at this time, WMU isn't releasing any other details. President John Dunn will make that big announcement along with other university officials. Now, the monumental moment, as WMU officials are calling it, will happen at 1:19 this afternoon. We will be here for it. As soon as we get the details about what the big announcement is, we'll pass them along to you. Reporting live in Kalamazoo, Jessica Wheeler, News Channel 3.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Whatever it is, it does sound big anyway. Herman Cain continues to deny sexual harassment allegations as he heads into tonight's GOP debate in Michigan.
I have never acted inappropriately with anyone, period. And as far as these accusations causing me to back off and maybe withdraw from this presidential primary race, ain't gonna happen.
Cain held a news conference yesterday claiming he does not remember ever meeting one of his accusers, Sharon Bialik. He says he would be willing to take a lie detector test if there was good reason. Cain's biggest competition right now is Michigan native Mitt Romney. Romney weighed in on the accusations for the first time last night. He called suggestions of sexual misbehavior disturbing. Tonight's debate is at 8 o'clock at Oakland University on the east side of the state. We'll be there. Look for live coverage starting on News Channel 3, live at 5.
And then after the debate, Cain will be making 2 stops here in West Michigan on Thursday for rallies and meetings in Kalamazoo and in Grand Rapids. Well, in Calhoun County, a Battle Creek man is behind bars, accused of beating his mother-in-law to death with a baseball bat. Harold McDonald was arrested Tuesday at a home on Cliff Street, and we found out his wife has a personal protection protection order against him and had filed for divorce. The order stated she feared for her life because of his erratic behavior and drug use. Officers say when McDonald's in-laws arrived at the home on Tuesday, McDonald attacked them with a bat. When police got to the scene, Joan Roche was lying in a pool of blood. She later died. McDonald is now being held on charges of murder and assault with intent to murder. Well, friends and family gathered together to mark the 4th anniversary of the death of 11-year-old Jodi Peric. They met last night at Cannon Park in downtown Constantine to remember Jodi's life and to keep their hope alive that her killer will be brought to justice.
Does this ever get any easier?
No, not really. I still miss her the same. I don't know if I'll ever have peace, honestly.
Does having the community support that you have here help?
Yes, it does, because it shows that they still care and they still remember, and she was loved by so many people, so nobody's given up.
Peric's mother, Valerie Carver, hopes that next year's vigil will have a different tone. It's because over the 3 years full of very little hope, detectives say new witnesses and new evidence have led to very promising leads that could lead to finding her killer within the next year.
To know that that person who's capable of killing an 11-year-old child is finally apprehended, I'm sure it'll make a lot of parents feel more comfortable.
For now, Jodi's family and friends continue to hope and pray that justice will be served.
We have a news alert we want to remind you about. The government will run its first ever nationwide test of the emergency alert system today. It will air on every TV channel and every radio station around the country at 2 p.m. for 30 seconds, being broadcast by the Department of Homeland Security's Federal Emergency Management Agency and the FCC. This test is supposed to help officials determine the reliability and effectiveness of the system. We talked to local officials. They want to stress not to panic. This is just a test.
We're just afraid that if people see this and they don't realize it's a test, they might call 911 to find out what's going on. And it's just a test. You don't need to call 911, and we need to leave those 911 lines open for true emergencies.
Again, the test will take place 2 o'clock today. Every TV station, radio station, satellite, and cable system around the country. It will last for 30 seconds. Time right now is 5:09. Supporters come out in full force to stand behind Penn State football coach Joe Paterno.
We want Joe! We want Joe! And I want you!
Still ahead, the latest as Paterno faces criticism for not doing enough to stop the alleged sexual abuse by a former coach. Hundreds of students, some with signs of support, crowd the street in front of Joe Paterno's home. Coach Paterno is under scrutiny related to the sex abuse scandal rocking Penn State right now. Some are saying he didn't do enough to stop the alleged sexual abuse of boys by former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky. But last night there was no criticism from supporters who were standing by the longtime coach.
The kids that were victims, or but whatever they want to say, I think we all say a prayer for them, because, you know, they were tough life when people do certain things to you.
Paterno told athletic director Tim Curley about a report he received that Sandusky had been seen in the shower with a young boy. Curley then told Vice President Gary Schultz, but no one told the police. Curley and Schultz are now being charged with an alleged cover-up. Paterno has not been charged in the case, but could be asked to step down by the Board of Trustees. While some people show support for Coach Joe Paterno, others speak out against Penn State's president.
And we will not let the actions of a few people stop and tarnish what we as a university stand for.
Still ahead, what those students are calling for and what steps the Board of Trustees is now taking to look into the matter further.
Plus, a local student is suspended for bringing a gun to school. We'll tell you why he brought it and how he ended up getting caught. A woman in Minnesota is caught on camera stealing a fur coat. You won't believe where she puts it and leaves it
for 3 days. Watch this. Police say that Stephanie Moreland right there stuffing a $6,500 mink under her skirt at a store last December, just seconds before a clerk walks by. Somehow she had modified her underwear and had it stuffed down the front there, but from the rear, it didn't appear that she had anything. The worker is suspicious and stops her at the door. Police were called in. She was arrested, but they did not find the coat. Well, 3 days later, a detective interviews her about the theft, has no idea she still has that coat. After several questions, she comes clean and pulls the jacket there out of her underwear. She had the jacket in her underwear for days in jail. My first thought when I saw this story, I thought, well, that's an interesting story, and those are interesting underwear. I would like to see those underwear. My second thought was, I do not want to see those underwear.
I do not want to see those underwear, nor do I want to see that coat, quite frankly.
But you got to admit, you know, those are not your everyday underwear. Those are changed. Those are different, modified. She's now serving nearly 2 years in jail. Police say part of the reason they didn't find the coat is because there was no female officer there during their arrest, so she wasn't patted down. They weren't able to do a full search at that time, and that's apparently why she got away with that for so long.
All right. I have very little to say about that.
Okay.
It's slightly disturbing.
That's fair enough, I think.